Well, hello again, my friends. Here we are at part 20 on the tiny house build of the little hodgepodge lodge here. And for you that just joined us, this is a 16-foot tiny house build. It's got a loft up in the top. And right now I'm putting in some kitchen cabinets here. I'm building these over here. This is going to be for the water heater. And let me get it right here. Okay, and right here it's going to be for the trash can, and this one here is the sink cabinet. But I'll show that to you here in a second. You might notice that's a little bit lighter in here. That's a grow light. I got it out of a storage unit, but it's bright in here. I can see what I'm doing now anyway. Let me show you what I've been up to. Okay, I've got the kitchen cabinet installed here. This is the sink cabinet, and this is going to get a wooden countertop, butcher block countertop, all the way over to this edge. And we're going to go ahead and put this trash can here, and that'll where the trash will be. This here is going to be, you can see the water heater pan, and the water heater is going to be right there. I finished up the plumbing in of the sink here. I've got that water line running up. That was a little miscalculation on my part. It was supposed to be in here with this one. And I've extended the water lines, and I've put on everything to hook up the piping. I mean the flex pipe for the sink. I still have to put the drain in on this side. So I still have to build that box right here. Going back to the, you can see the hole way back there in the corner. That's where the pipe's going to go out. Only place I could put it. So it's going to be under the bed in the sitting area anyway, so you'll never see it. And now that I've got this part as long as I can get it for right now, because I'm hunting down some wood and painting a few pieces, I'm going to go ahead and move over to this side, and I'm going to put the other cabinet here with the one with the drawers in it, and the place the cooktop's going to be. Then that shelf right there is going to go right up here, and then I can start finishing off this area a little bit more. So that's what I'm doing right now, guys. Okay, I built the cabinet on this side. This is the sink cabinet, and this is where the garbage can is going to go. I just found one in the shop and I fitted it to it. It's a regular 20-gallon. So that's where the garbage can is going to go. And I was thinking about putting a slider in there, but it's just too tight. Unless I went with the smaller can, and I don't want to do that. So that's what it's going to get right there. And there's the area for the hot water heater. You can see there's the inlet pipe for the cold, and there's the wiring, which runs up to this box where there'll be a plug-in right there. And then there's the access door to go outside, to access this water heater. And I was going to go ahead and fill this in here with a piece of 3/4 inch plywood and not put the face frame around it. But I decided to do it this way. I'll put a nice little curtain across there because the refrigerator is going to be sitting here anyway, right here. So there's makes it more accessible that way. I can get into this side or that side in case I have to work on it or do whatever. And I went ahead and made a little burl wood trim piece to go along the edge there, because the top's going to stick out right about here. I left it flat right where the top's going to be, but the butcher block's going to come out about that far. It'll look nice. It'll cover all of this right here and out to about here. So this I'm really happy with. It's going to look nice in here with the cabinet. Oops, I'm stepping on stuff. I've got my windowsill built. Got plenty of junk over here in my cabinet, but I put this one in too. This is where the cooktop's going to be. That's not the top I'm going to use. I just have it there for working on. Get in here and clean these drawers out a little more. But they're not bad considering this was an old shop cabinet. Had nuts and bolts and things like that in it. And went ahead and built the middle shelf for that. And I've got the little metallic L brackets that fit in those holes right there to make it adjustable. So, and right above that, I've got the microwave cabinet and the fan. The hood range fan is going to go right in here. And it's going to have a plug-in up at the top. Starting to come together in here. And I've kind of decided, since I put this molding in here, I think I'm going to go fill this whole area right here with more wood coming down. All the way down to the bottom. Then I'll go across. And that way it'll kind of trim out that wall. I was kind of wondering how I was going to do that. And once I get that to the very top here, right here, I'm going to go ahead and take a piece of 3/4 inch quarter round and just round this off right here, and it'll stop right there. That's about the only thing I can think to do up there to make that look decent. I could just patch a little piece of square stuff in there too, but the round one would be a little bit less likely to put a knot on my head. I'm kind of tall. I may bump that going in and out. It's a standard height doorway. It's 80 inches, but still I'm 6'5" and a little bit. So, well, I'm going to keep after it here. I need to take my stud finder and go along that wall right there and find me another place to screw this cabinet in. I could only find one spot so far, and it's right there. That's on that stud that this electrical box is nailed to. But I measured over 16 inches, and there should have been one right about where I got that mark. But I put a screw in there, and it didn't hit anything. So rather than keep puncturing holes and stuff, I'm going to get my stud finder out. I'm going to find that stud. I'm going to put a couple more screws in this and anchor it in really good. Well, I've been having fun today. Hello everyone. I was having a hard time figuring out how I was going to build a countertop for the cabinet that has the drawers in it where the induction cooktop's going to sit, and I couldn't find anything that was appropriate. I've got a piece over there. You can see that. That's a maple butcher block, but that's going to go on the sink side of the kitchen, and I wanted something that I could put on the other side of the kitchen where the little induction cooktop was going to be. So I found an old piece of subfloor. It's 1.25 inches thick. You can see it right there. It's pretty thick. I didn't worry about the drips on the back. That's going to go up against the wall. But anyway, it was just slightly too small. It was about 1.5 inches too small. And I was looking at it there, and someone suggested maybe just putting a piece of trim around it to extend the size of it. And I don't know why I didn't think of that, but it was a good idea. And that's what I ended up doing. So it's basically fir subfloor that I sanded off real good. And I've put about 5 coats on it. Then I have a clear floor varnish and floor urethane. It's this polyurethane right here, water base. And then I sanded it, and I've put 3 more on top of that. So it came out pretty slick. Yeah, I had to cut the pieces. I cut them at a 45 on the end, rounded the edges so I wouldn't hit myself. I learned my lesson when I was building that van. I built that square table in it. And whammed myself on that one time, and I rounded those right off. But yeah, I had to clamp them on. There's my clamps. I clamped it and glued it, and it came out pretty good. So that's going to go on the side that has the cooktop and the little microwave cabinet over by the pantry shelves. And this guy over here, this was a natural maple. I got it over at Home Depot on sale. And one of the few pieces I bought that were brand new for this little project, that little house. Most of that stuff was surplus and used. And I just wanted a really nice countertop on it. Didn't want to try to build something out of like doubling up 3/4 inch plywood or something like that. Then I would have just had a lot of problems. But anyway, I put that same clear coat on this, and I didn't like the color of it. It was too light. It didn't go with the interior, the color choices I did on the inside of the tiny house. So I've sanded it all back off. My gosh, when you're doing stuff like this, don't cut corners. It just doesn't pay off on the end. You gotta. I'm gonna go ahead and stain this the same color as I stained the center of that one over there and all the other trim that's inside the building. Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and put that colonial maple on this and go ahead and get it re-clear coated. So that's what I'm doing right now. I'm just sanding this dude off. I'll catch you in a minute. Well, it's a little later on in the afternoon here. The evening's coming along here. It's gonna be getting dark pretty soon. You can see it's getting dark in the shop a little. I went ahead and got this thing stained. It looks a lot better now. More of the tone that I wanted. So tomorrow I'm going to go ahead and get the clear coat put on this. I'll probably put about 7-8 coats on it, make it nice and shiny. I'll put another coat on the other one too, on the other countertop. Not a lot of good light over here right now, but you can kind of get an idea. You can see it. It's got really nice shine to it now. It's got a slight milkiness in it still, but that'll leave it when it dries. All right. Well, there's 3 coats on here right now. And it's kind of soaked it up pretty good. And when you rub on it, it has a rough spots in it. And what I'm doing is I'm taking some fine sandpaper and I'm just sanding with the grain here. Until the surface feels smooth. It doesn't have those little hang-ups on it anymore. Then I'm going to go back over this with maybe 3 or 4 more coats. And it should be pretty nice. Yeah, sand with the grain. It's feeling pretty smooth now. I'm going to go ahead and do the rest of this. It's only going to take me a couple minutes. Then I'm going to go ahead and put some more on it. Well, guys, I ended up adding a little bit to the back of this one, this countertop here. I cut me another strip here and I glued it. I've got it clamped right now. And we're going to let that dry. In the meantime, I'll show you what I've done in the house here. It's a little dark in there. Let me get the light on. Okay. I've got this cabinet wood all stained. I mean the countertop all stained. And I've got several coats of a polyurethane water-based clear on it, which is a satin finish, so it's not going to have a lot of shine. You can see from the side view, it's just got a little bit of shine. It'll fit in there nicely. You stand back here without falling out the door. Okay. I got me some new gray paint. I had to go buy some. This chalk paint here. I got the last can at Home Depot. They were closing it out. They're going to use their own brand now. So I need to still paint all this here gray to make it, tie in the rest of this cabinet. And the one I clamped on is this one. I'm adding that little strip on the back to bring this out where it needs to be and cover the whole area. So. Yeah, but this thing here, I think it looks really nice. I didn't try to age it or distress it or anything like that, because I just didn't have the heart to do it. It's such a nice cabinet. I mean, such a nice countertop. Nice and smooth. There's no lint in it. Yeah, so what I'm going to do here is I'm going to cut me a 24-inch sink hole, and then I'm going to undermount the sink. It's not an undermount type, but I've watched other people do it. They've mounted to the bottom and screw them in through the bottom and seal them. And then you take the extra piece that you have here and you just set it back in the hole and use it for a, drill a hole in it so you get your finger in there and lift it. But then you use that for a cutting board. And I think that'll work out really good in this little house. I thought this was an 8-foot, but it was only a 6-foot. So I don't have the piece that I wanted to put on top of the refrigerator there. So I'll have to find me something else to put on top of the refrigerator so I can use that area, because the refrigerator is only going to be this high. So I'm happy right now. This is all working out really good. Well, here's my stove cabinet. It's got the 2 drawers in it. There's the shelf I built for it. So we have room for pots and pans down there now. I made the bottom one a little bit wider to hold the bigger stuff. I added that strip to the back, so now it fits rather well. Got a nice little overhang on it. And I put a coat of clear on the beam, just for something to do while the cabinet was drying over here. I got quite a bit of storage in here now. I've got the shelf up here. Got all this pantry area here. I got this area down here for pots and pans. Places for dishes, spices, whatnot. And I went ahead and painted this down here. Painted the face frame. So now it looks complete. And there's storage under the sink. I repainted the windowsill too. It got a little white looking. I guess the water-based clear coat got too cold or something, and it made it white. So I sanded it off and redid it. And I redid the whole window frame too, under this beam too. You can see it's still a little wet. I need to put a couple more a couple more coats on this beam. I thought about sanding it all off, but I'd make it real smooth, but I'm just going to leave this. It kind of looks kind of rustic, and I think I'll just leave it that way. The whole thing's got a little bit of a rustic look to it. So here's the back picture of the whole kitchen here. It's a pretty good size for a mini home, I think. It's going to have plenty of light. It's going to have that window. Then it's going to have the skylight above it. Oh, and some hidden shelving that I haven't even mentioned yet is this is going to get a shelf up here. Then all this is going to be shelved in and across here. So it'll have an upper shelf up here too. Good for storing larger items, or maybe potted plants or something decorative, candles, whatever. Well, this video is getting long enough, I think. So why don't we call an end to episode 20 here, and I'll see you guys again on episode 21. And again, I'd like to thank you guys for coming along, and keep an eye on this continuing series here. It's starting to get interesting. And I think next thing I'm going to do is probably going to go ahead and move up to the roof if the weather will hold. If not, I just got to keep plugging away at the inside here. So we'll see you on the next one. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.